Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Good morning, Miami Dolphin fans. Sorry for the little bit of delay there. My internet is already getting wonky, just a fair warning. I was looking at my Wi-Fi connection and got caught off guard. But the Miami Dolphins, fresh off their bye week, one more game tonight to conclude this week's NFL action as the Broncos take on our arch rival Buffalo Bills. Overall, it was a good week for the Dolphins as a bye week, as far as a bye week can go. Some of our competitors took L's. The Jets took a loss last night. The Ravens, who were one of the top seeds in the AFC, they took an L. So it's going to be a very competitive AFC, like we've been saying all along. So Miami will be taking on the Raiders this coming week as they beat the Jets last night. So the Raiders are right there at 500. We will see how it all plays out. Miami's strength of schedule, we have the lowest strength of victory. I was just reading in the whole NFL. So is that concerning? Yes. We haven't beat above a team with a 500 record, but it is what it is. We can get into our groove, get over that stigma of doing that. So overall, 6-3. I'm okay with that. I can't complain with that at this point. We got some comments that, hey, good morning, thank you. Yes, I was away for a few days from doing anything, not even doing stuff for the website, nothing. Went up to Gainesville, Florida, where my son's a University of Florida student. He turned the big 2-1. Had a fun few days up there. It's like a 5-hour drive, so not too bad, but never fun driving up the middle of Florida. Not very scenic at all. But it was fun once we got there, and always good to be back. So the Dolphins are going to be back to action this week. We should see more Mike McDaniel this week, kind of get better feel of what's going on the Dolphins front as far as injuries, whose windows open this week, such as A-Chan and all that good news. See what our future looks like. So do the Dolphins have some issues to clean up? Yes. Are the Jets defense scary? I mean, I know I'm looking a couple of weeks ahead. Yes. But do I see signs? Because a couple of weeks ago, I was really worried about that game. But after watching the Jets last night, I just figured you can get some points against them. And I don't know if their offense will be able to do that well against our defense. So it's still a game we should be very competitive game. But I'm not looking ahead. The Raiders are on the docket. They beat those Jets that I'm talking about last night in primetime football. But watching that game made me say, man, the Jets defense is scary good. But their offense, did not put up any points. So I'm thinking if we can get like 20 against them, 21, something like that, might be enough to win that game up in the Meadowlands. Well, I don't think they call it the Meadowlands anymore or whatever, but you get my point, up in New York. So in New Jersey, actually. So it should be a good Black Friday game. But this Raiders game, there's no excuse for the Miami Dolphins. Miami's coming off a bye week. The Raiders are coming off a game. They just played a late Sunday night game and have to travel across the country. There is no reason that Miami should not beat the Raiders. Am I overconfident? No, because it's the NFL and you never know. But Miami should beat the Raiders to get to 7-3. And that's all we can ask for. Remember, last year Miami was 8-3. So we would have to beat the Jets just to match that 8-3 from last year. So as good as the season started off, those 3 losses are tough. Got to get past that though and continue the winning ways. Beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Yes, we got the worst strength of victory in the whole entire NFL. 32 as far as strength of victory, not one victory against an above 500 opponent. It is what it is. We can only play the teams on our schedule. Those teams are on our schedule. Now, there's a couple more teams coming on our schedule that aren't great winning teams as well. Hey, good morning, Michael K. Good morning, Hooked Up Joe, Ender, Steve, and Lewis. Lewis, you're like a week late, but I did see your comment about your Chiefs beating our Dolphins. Congrats to your team, Lewis. They're continuing to roll. And once again, it looks like they're going to be on top of the AFC standings as far as home field after the Ravens took an L yesterday. So who knows? It's crazy. A lot of football left to be played. A lot of good teams. I mean, who knew that the Texans, the Houston Texans in your neighborhood, Steve Malloy's a big Miami Dolphin fan, and you can find him on the Fins Talk Sports Network as well as out here on Dolphins Thirsty. But he lives out in Houston, and those Texans, they're no joke, man. That they got themselves a young quarterback that can get the job done. They went into Cincinnati and beat Cincinnati when Cincinnati was starting to peak. I thought Cincinnati was starting to get on a roll. Texans went in there yesterday and beat them. It's crazy, man. They beat them. So we will see. Michael K. I don't think the Raiders will win by 10, but I know you want to get some of your jokes in. I do believe your Bills will win tonight. Hey, Kohler. Big fins up to you, sir, Kohler. Thank you for coming in here. I saw you comment. I was like, I'm not late. I didn't do any show yesterday. It was all for today. Good morning, Moya. All you guys are big fins up. Man, yeah, the Detroit Lions, though, that's another team that's no joke, man. Now they may have the best offense in football. It's crazy what the Lions have been doing. Hey, Edward, another big fins up to you, too. All you guys, if you just remember, if you do me a big favor, go tackle that thumbs up button. I like to say fins up, but here on the tube and Facebook, it's a thumbs up. Hey, Adam, good morning to you. All you guys, great for coming in on this week off for the Miami Dolphins. But now we're getting back to football. No more weeks off, straight through the season. It's time to start playing for real. Winner takes all. That's how it always is in the NFL. Just beat who's on your schedule. This week, it is the Raiders on our schedule. That's the team we got to beat. And that would get us to 7 wins, which would be nice. But like I say, I'm not going to be happy until we get past that 8-3 from last year and get over that hump, because we were 8-3 last year, all toasting, saying we're the greatest, and then we basically went on a 5-game losing streak. I don't foresee a 5-game losing streak looking at this year's schedule, but we do have tough games. The aforementioned Ravens, who took it on the chin at home yesterday, we got them up there. That's a tough game. We got the Cowboys coming to beautiful South Florida. That's going to be a tough game. Of course, we got Michael K. Bills, the last game of the season. That's going to be a tough game. And then we got other teams as well. The Commanders are no joke and yada yada. But there are going to be plenty of tests along the way. Like I said, Miami's passed all the quizzes this year. We have failed the big test along the way. Eventually, you got to start beating some of those teams with winning records, or you're not going to get very far in the playoffs if you don't start beating teams with winning records. But someone, I think it was one of my sons, pointed out to me when the Rams won their recent Super Bowl, they hadn't, or one of their years that the Rams won, I don't know about their recent one, but one of the years the Rams won a Super Bowl, they hadn't beaten one team with a winning record the whole regular season, and they went and won the Super Bowl. So, can you start turning it on? Yes, you can start turning it on and beating teams with winning records once you get to the playoffs. Kohler, if you're predicting Denver wins tonight, and if that happens, I'm going to call you to see who your insider is tomorrow, and I'm going to have to start going with the Kohler. I don't see that happening. I see Denver falling to Buffalo tonight, but I would love it, Kohler, if that comes to fruition. I would be singing your praises on my next show. Dad Dean would play a winning team until, yep. No, that's how it falls right now. But hey, you got to play who's on your schedule. The Jets had that chance to have a winning record, so but that fell by the wayside because right now the Raiders come in at 5-5. So technically, what's funny is if we beat the Raiders, they're going to still say we haven't beat a team. But if we would have lost to them, then they are going to have a winning record. So that's why some of these things are kind of silly when you play with the numbers like that. Because right now the Raiders are 5-5. If they beat us, they have a winning record. If we beat them, they have a losing record. So it just shows that it's a fine line. But yes, I want to beat teams with winning records. The Chargers could have easily got to a winning record, but they couldn't get it done. Their defense couldn't stop anyone yesterday. The Lions ripped through them like the Dolphins ripped through them earlier in the year. Which that I don't know. Maybe you guys would be telling me he's fired already. I don't think he would get fired after that game, but that Chargers coach, you know, he's supposed to have a defensive background. He got Mack and Boza and all the tools on that defense, and that defense stinks, and I don't get it. So I'm just looking at the records, man. So when you look at the AFC, you got the Dolphins sitting atop the AFC East. The Ravens are right there just because they have one game extra. But the Steelers and the Browns are right on their butt at 6-3. The Ravens they're 7-3. So that's going to be, and the Bengals fall to 5-4. But I still don't think the Bengals are done. I think they will make a run at it too. Jacksonville, they got walloped yesterday by the 49ers. It was just a good beat down fast. Boom. It was over before you got comfortable in the seat. So Jacksonville, are they fake? Are they fakers? Because believe it or not, they've already lost to the Texans in Jacksonville, and they got them. So the Texans might win. I can't believe this Texans team is playing as well as they are. Then you get all the way down there, and you got Kansas City as usual. Mr. Lewis, your Kansas City Chiefs are sitting atop. They've already, you might as well crown them the AFC West champs, and and just see how the playoff picture plays out after that. So you get a lot of, hey, Mr. Newfoundland and Dad Dean, big welcome to you guys. I hope you are Kohler. I would like I say, I will call you for, even though we can't bet here in the great. Well, someone told me there is a betting app now through the Native American, whatever, the Seminole or something. I'm not sure, but I don't know if that's true. But you could bet in Florida now, supposedly. But so I never really bet. I'm not a gambler by nature, but if you predict Denver to beat Buffalo and that happens, I may have to start listening to Kohler for some financial advice. Let's see. Hey, big fins up to you, Newfoundland. If all you guys just entering, please don't forget to go boom, boom, boom to that like button. Helps out the channel and it's free. That's about the only thing's free these days. No, Lewis, I don't think the Patriots fire their coach before the end of the season. At the end of the season, who knows if they move on? And good morning to you, Mr. Courtwright, as you enter the room. Boom, bah. But yeah, so the whole narrative is true. The Dolphins' strength of, it's sounding like college football. We're talking about strength of schedule, like some people saying the Seminoles don't belong in the top 4 because of their strength of schedule. But all you can do is beat the teams on your schedule. But yes, the Dolphins, to analytics, say that the Dolphins have the lowest strength of victory. So the teams that they beat are the lowest weighted. So whatever the heck that means. Yeah, Kohler, we might be able to upgrade that RV with division champ pinstripe. Yeah, hey, if that happens, yes. But like I say, I really do believe that unfortunately the Buffalo Bills win tonight, which gets us into the next week's games, which will be interesting stuff going forward, because I believe, let me go into next week's games real quick. Sorry if I'm not looking at the camera for a minute. I'm trying to find next week's games. Week 11. So yes, this week, Thursday night's an interesting game. We got the Bengals at the Ravens. So I would like to see the Bengals once again beat the Ravens to knock the Ravens down one notch. That'd be tough, though. That's a tough ask on the Bengals, but they got the Ravens. Maybe they were overlooked, and we all talk about trap games. Maybe the Bengals overlooked the Texans, looking ahead, going to the Ravens. They got the Ravens on the docket. But the game I'm interested in is, of course, our Dolphins. And then let's see. The Jets at the Bills. You got the Jets at the Bills. So that'd be interesting to see if the Bills win tonight, like I predict that the Bills win tonight. I guess I'll be rooting for the Jets, which I hate rooting for the Jets. The Jets are my least favorite team in the world, but I would be rooting, and I think most of you guys probably would be rooting for the. It's twofold. Have the Jets win the week before we played them, so they get a little bit of that. Because right now they're on a 2-game losing streak. If they lose to the Bills, they'll be coming on a 3-game losing streak coming against our Miami Dolphins. But it would really help that game. So that's a weird game next week when you got the Bills and the Jets, and it's like, I hate rooting for any one of these, but I guess we would have to. Now, if the Bills lose tonight, basically you got the same old thing. I don't really even know. I don't see the Bills losing tonight, Mr. Kohler. As much as you're trying to get me, excited, that's a chance. Hey, Anthony, I didn't see you sneak into the room. If we lose the rest of our big things, just approve that we need to move. Depends, Anthony. It all depends. Let's see. Let's get to the playoffs. Because if you lose them in the regular season, but do what some other teams have done in history, get hot in the playoffs and win. No, believe me, if the Dolphins get a playoff win this year, I think it saves most of the people on the bubble on the team. Is how I feel that it was because the Dolphins are so starved for a playoff victory. I think a playoff victory saves almost everyone on the team because Ross is going to say, "Well, we got that elusive playoff victory. We haven't even gotten a playoff victory since Mr. Ross has owned the team." So I think that's going to buy everyone an extension on that front. But yes, Anthony, there will be questions on who's on the bubble if the Dolphins don't win a team against a team with a winning record and then be one and done in the playoffs. Yes, there will be some heads rolling. So I agree. If we win all of our home games, that's what I've said all along. We have 9 home games this year. Of course, some of them have already been played. But if you go 9 at home at road, you win the 2 that you've already won on the road. That's 11. If you can steal one against the Jets or the Commanders on the road, hey, you're looking very good. To me, winning the AFC East is imperative. Is the most important thing. It's vital that the Dolphins win the AFC East because I just don't see the Dolphins playing the wild card team, having to play like 3 road games. That is rough. You got to win, at least have one home playoff game. Take the AFC East. Miami is there for the taking this year. Buffalo's obviously having some issues. They can get on a roll, but they're having some issues up to this point. Take advantage of it. Hey, Mr. Stubbs, big fins up to you. And speaking of fins up, know that thumbs up if you haven't done so already. But yeah, guys are so right. The Cleveland is we get blown out. I mean, after we have a bye week by a wild card team. The Cleveland is if we get blown out. I mean, by yes, no, you are right. And then there are it's so many variables still on the table as far as the future holds. But this year is the year that we can prove it that all these people belong. It's funny how to me we can benefit from Tua. Yeah, I don't think Anthony's saying maybe. I don't know. He's just asking if that happens, Scotty. But I agree, Scotty. A lot of people still have that argument about moving on from Tua. I want him to be the guy. You want him to be the guy. All the Dolphin fans in this room want him to be the guy. But I think his question is like outside the box general manager thinking. Do they decide to move on if we don't win with him this year? We picked up his 5th-year option, so technically they can play all of next year too. Then you can franchise tag him until you work out the contract and all that. So you got control over him basically the rest of this year for sure. You got control over him for next year. So are the Dolphins not committing to Tua for financial reasons, or is it just because he is in the testing process? I think that's why people are asking the questions because Burrow has already got his money. Herbert's already got his money. Heck, him and Jalen Hurts, who was drafted, not even in the first round, already got his money. So I think that's why some people are questioning whether Tua's the Dolphins guy. But they did pick up, they were the first team to pick up the 5th-year option on him. So there was no doubt that they wanted the 5th-year option on him. So I think maybe just because of the Dolphins' lack of financial commitment to Tua is why some fans are questioning whether he's the guy in the Dolphins' mind moving ahead. But there's no reason to because you have him under control through next season. Then you, of course, they would if he is the guy, they would put the franchise tag and it'd be a huge number, but they would probably work out some long-term deal at that point. So it's not like you're in any danger of losing him for nothing over the next couple years. So you're okay there. But maybe I think that's why, not from his performance. I think most people question whether the Dolphins are serious because they haven't extended him yet, like the other teams from that same draft class have done to their quarterbacks. So that's where I think that comes from. Oh, I agree. I'm fine with Tua, and I think he's the guy. But I think that's where the fair question is among fans: is why have the Dolphins not given him the money? The Chargers have already given the bag of money to Herbert and my dog. What'd you say? That's my dog Chase. He decided he's gonna chime in on the debate about Tua. Chase, I let you. He wants out of the room. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to let him out of the. Oh, never mind. My wife's letting him out. So there you go. So anyway, I think that was he's for Tua Bark. So let's see. Chiefs might make playoff Super Bowl. I don't know. The offense is not good. Hey, I don't know, Lewis. Your teams, they always find a way, man. I give kudos to your Chiefs. You're the New England right now, and you owning the AFC. So we will get there. 56% Bills to make 56% Kohler chimes in Bills to make the postseason. And I think that 56% would go way down if your prediction of the Broncos beating them tonight comes to fruition, Sir Kohler. So I think that would even go down more. So, guys, next week, obviously, you want the Dolphins to beat the Raiders. That goes without saying. But when you see the Jets versus Bills, does it depends on what happens tonight in the Bills game, or are you rooting for the Jets no matter what next week in the Bills versus Jets game next week? And that might be close. Hey, the Jets, 3% Jets. Yeah, the Jets definitely have taken it on the chin. The cup. Therefore, they got there for a while. They made a scary run where I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe the Jets are right on our butt. But they took one on the chin against the Chargers. Took another one on the chin last night against the Raiders. So they are reeling for sure. And if they lose to Buffalo and they lose to us, you can almost assure yourself that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be coming back to play this year because they're not going to bring back an Aaron Rodgers just to play out the string. They'll bring him back if they're in contention. So we will see. 56% is interest right now, but better than 50-50. They'll make it. Yeah, for sure. But like I say, man, I'm afraid that the AFC East guy that doesn't hold on to the division title may not make the playoffs, man. If you look at the picture right now in those standings, it's insane, man. It's insane in the AFC. Everyone's up there just within so close to, and you don't want to fall on where you have to worry about some tiebreaker because sometimes the tiebreakers when it's multiple teams all tied, it's not necessarily head to head. So it's just like all kinds of weird stuff out there. I mean, you got so many teams with the within that breathing distance. It's scary. I'm trying to go back to the standings real quick here, but my computer's acting weird. Here we go. This is right now they have Chiefs number 1 seed, Ravens number 2 seed, Jacksonville number 3 seed, and we're still number 4 seed. So none of all that helped is that they didn't really move us up in the seeding at all. So right now we're still 4 seed. Steelers are at 5 seed, so that's who we. So right now, we're right there, and the Bills are on the bubble. So this is according to NFL.com playoff picture. So that's where we're at. I don't know, Kohler, if you're just coming up with Kohler numbers or numbers you're getting from somewhere else, but I take those numbers. I like them, sir. So that's it. I was thinking maybe our seating would have changed today with some of those teams taking L's, but this is updated because it has Kansas City still at 7-2, but it has the Ravens at 7-3, the Jaguars at 6-3, the Dolphins at 6-3. So nothing changed in the seating yesterday. So that's but it did give some of those teams another L, so that's good. Or am I missing something? Oh yeah, I see. I don't think this is updated. Never mind. Yeah, this is they're talking about okay. I got it. Never mind. I don't think that's updated through yesterday. Oh, projections according to Hey, I guess ESPN finally gives some Miami some love. Those analytics. Yeah. No, I agree, Joe. That's the big thing. Getting that home field game in the playoffs is very, very important. That's what we need, man. We need at least one. That's where Miami's fallen in their recent years. Not many home playoff games, and it's only a playoff game every few years. We need to just start making the playoffs like a regular habit, like the old days, and eventually good things happen. You can't have a playoff game and then be like 3 or 4 seasons, no playoffs, then a playoff game. You're going to have a lot of one and dones that way because by the time you get some players with experience of playing the playoffs, if you go another 3 or 4 years, most of those guys are gone and you're starting from scratch all over again. And someone did mention something about CJ Stroud and here. I wanted to see because that kid is impressing me. I was going to see, but I missed it. But yeah, the CJ Stroud, I don't know. He is playing well. Dolphins signed another receiver to practice squad. Waddle injury, Craig having setback. No, I don't know about that, Mr. Courtwright. I think it's just some filling out the roster in case of emergency. Hey, good morning, Bobby of the Fins Talk Sports Network. A big fins up to you. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you go check out that network. Make sure you find Kohler either on the Miss Fins channel or the Fins Tailgate. Always good stuff he brings. Thank you, Kohler. I would love that DM. That would help. So yeah, the AFC though, man, it's a tough, tough picture, man. When you look at that, and the Lions right now are the number 2 seed, man. Who knows what's gonna? That's crazy, man. Number 2 seed, 49ers are still the number 3 over there. So it's just crazy, man. I joked at the beginning of the year, wouldn't the world be shocked if the Dolphins and Lions played in a Super Bowl together? After years of not having playoff victories, and it'd be the Dolphins and the Lions. My joke could come. I would take that, man. But man, the Lions offense is very good. Yes, their defense. They play the Chargers very much like we played the Chargers. High scoring. They won right at the end on by having an offensive drive and kicking the ball through the uprights. We won by driving the ball down and needing to hit Hill for a touchdown. We got it. The Chargers are a team that almost all their games, the Chargers are almost in every game. I mean, they get blown out maybe a couple of times or whatever, but man, almost all the time the Chargers just find a way to lose in the end. It's crazy. So that's why I said the Chargers really are not a bad team. And we went in there, we beat them, and that's a good win in my book. Do they have a winning record? No. So that story still prevails. Yet we haven't beat a team with a winning record. Let's see, Dad Dean. Win Raiders, split Jets, and win Tennessee. Dolphins win the division. Hey, I'll take that, and that's very, very feasible. Daniel Teller, a big fins up to you. Thank you for dropping in. Good morning, and fins up to the Fins family, and especially Dolphins Thirsty. I appreciate it, Mr. Daniel Teller. Make sure you guys nail that button for me. But anyway, let's see. Wide receiver Anthony laugh out. Spaceball as many sports to be with you. I know, Scotty. It's just, and he's a local kid. But is he going to see the playing field this year? Hopefully not, because then things have gone wrong somewhere along the line. I'm interested this week. Get McDaniel back to having his press conferences. Just get updated on some of this. Know when windows open. Because if HN comes back, man, that's another element to our offense that has been missing. Who knew that a rookie would have such a big impact? But he did. You just see that little extra when he's in there. It's like makes. I mean, Moses is great. Don't get me wrong, but just that extra like little burst that HN has, that fresh rookie boom, he is a big part, and it helps the game planning because teams have to say, "Oh, we can't just do this and that against them." Now we got to worry about them having Achan bust 170 yards on us. So he's exciting. He can catch it out of the backfield. He can run it. Get that man back there. Keep our offensive line as healthy as possible. That's my most concerning unit on the Dolphins. Still is the offensive line. You can say linebackers and whatever else you want to bring up on the defense. But my most concern is still to this day, and it seems like it's been like this for decades, is the offensive line. Because behind our starters, we're really razor thin. Or I mean, I'm happy, and I understand why we're not playing Lamb. Because some people are saying, "Oh, they should play Lamb at guard." You got to keep that man healthy because you know you're probably not going to keep Armstead healthy every single game. So you got to have Lamb be able to step in because if he would get banged up like trying to play guard, and then something happens to Armstead, then you're really up the creek without a paddle, and you don't want that. You're doomed at that point. So keep Lamb on the backup, keep him as your swing tackle. I like that they don't try to play him in a position he hasn't really played. He's a tackle. Keep him at tackle, and let's worry about the left guard position as it goes. Yeah, I agree. I do think I heard that. I think he did say that too, Joe. That Lamb said that he can't play guard. Some guys can't play any position. And even if he could and would be willing to as a player, because teams sometimes get. I just don't want him there because you need him as that backup. He fills in much better than our backups did last year. Because last year you knew the games Armstead was out, we were cooked on that side, and it was just not very pretty till we found Lamb, and we kind of found a guy that can step in and play at a level that you can do winning football at. So keep that man healthy because he's our plan B at that spot for sure. No, no, that's why I was saying I would like to see McDaniel talk. Been a quiet week on the Dolphins front. Plus, I was in Gainesville spending time with the family. Didn't stay on social media, but I haven't seen any Newfoundland, any word on Hunt. Maybe someone else in the room seen something, but I think we should be able to see more information on him this week when the Barry Jacksons of the world get to ask his questions, his two-part questions that all McDaniel always laughs about. He would probably say, I got a two-part question. Is Hunt going to practice this week? And do you think he's going to be ready? And well, whatever. He always throws some two-part question, and McDaniel always gives him a little fun. I like that. Good humor among our coach and media, it seems like. Some teams are not firing on every cylinder and still raining Ravens, Eagles. Yes, no, you're right. Yesterday, the Ravens took one on the chin, but yet they still got one of the best records in all of football. And people going into that game yesterday were saying maybe the Ravens are the best team in football. People love anointing all these things. I just say let the process play out because right now, hell, the Lions are playing really well. I mean, jeez, it's crazy. It's crazy how well the Lions are playing. Like I said, the Texans are no joke. They may end up winning that division, people. Don't sleep on the Texans. I cannot believe the level the Texans have turned this team around. Looks like they hit on their quarterback and their coach. And if they went into Cincinnati and they beat them, they've beaten the Jaguars. They've beaten some good teams with good record. The Texans are no joke, and they could very well take that division from the Jaguars. That's crazy. That's where I agree with you, Scotty. I just don't feel like we've hit our all cylinders yet because we just didn't get anything going against Kansas City, unfortunately. That game is still bugging me. And the worst thing is that we had a whole week to think about it. Good thing is we're finally getting into our week of football after tonight. This week closes and the new week begins, and we get ready, this week. There's a lot of good football left to be played. The Dolphins have their chance to set their name in stone, stay in the division lead, and that's what we want to do. And I agree with you, Scotty. We will eventually start hitting our stride where we play a defensive game like we did against Kansas City and then combine it with some offense. Not like we did against the Broncos. That's going a little too far, but say like we did against the Chargers. Get the defense against the offense that we had against the Chargers, the defense that we had against the Chiefs, combine those two, play complementary football, and then that's when we would be firing in all cylinders. Because the Chiefs offense basically had two touchdowns against the Miami Dolphins. We gifted them 7 on the Tyreek Hill. So if the defense can do to that level what they did against the Chiefs, play at that level the rest of the way, our offense finds its stride again. I do believe that the Dolphins can be a dangerous football team moving forward. If the key word is key phrase, if we stay healthy, but that goes for any team in the NFL. You got to keep your frontline guys healthy for the most part. They're always going to have guys banged up, but keep those frontline guys healthy. And this Miami Dolphins team should, and I think will, win the division. I really do believe this is a year to take the division from Buffalo and see what we can do in the playoffs. This is it, man. This is our team, and this is a team that Chris Greer built. This is a team that this is the year, and maybe next year or the years that we were built to win for. So there's no more excuses from Miami Dolphin fandom or team. This is it. You got to go up, strap it up, Dolphins, and go up there and kick some butt in the remaining games this year against every team. Yes, the teams with losing records, the team with 500 records, and the team with winning records. Start taking control, and we're going to be fine. I agree with you guys, man. Winning the division, we're considered frauds for that. Houston has arrived because they did the same thing the Broncos did the Chiefs, due to the Chiefs. No, yeah, no, I know, but man, you have to admit, and the Texans are playing a lot better than what we thought they were. Yes, I know they might be overachieving, but man, I did not think they would be playing that well. One thing I learned, one is are a force to be reckoned with in the AFC South. This isn't the same Texans we practice in preseason, Dolphins. No, it's not, man. They've hit in their stride maybe a little bit. I don't know. But they've already beaten Jacksonville once, and I guess the next game is going to be in Houston. So if they win that, man, they may be sitting there in that division. I was anointing don't sleep on Jacksonville. Now I may have to say don't sleep on the Texans. But hey, it is what it is, man. It's a lot of young teams are stepping up. Time for the Dolphins to step up. This team was built to win now, so they have to do it. There's no excuses on our front. I don't care how well teams are playing. You got to play better than them. Like going into the Ravens, that's going to be a really tough ask. But somehow they have to do it because if they don't do it in the regular season, they're probably going to have to do it in the playoffs. So what's going to make us think all of a sudden that we can't beat them in the regular season and we're going to go into the playoffs and have to beat a team on the road in the playoffs? So you got to start at beating some of these teams at some point. You got, like Joe said, I do believe that the Dolphins will get to the playoffs. Do I believe they will advance? That's yet to be determined. Do I believe they're good enough to advance? Yes, I do. I believe they're really good enough. They have to start playing like they know they belong instead of trying to prove they belong. Just go out there and let the teams know, hey, we're just as good as you, if not better. We're going to beat you. And that's the end of the story. I think sometimes they go out there. They do hear the noise, in my opinion. The just Dolphin teams does listen to the noise. They know what the media is saying, that we can't beat the good teams. And I think sometimes we play to that mentality Like, oh, we're gonna go out there and prove we belong. Just go out there and know you belong. That's the big difference. Who will the media spin to the baby? Thor doesn't win the division. Man, this would be several meltdowns. Yes, I know. We'll see if I'm not saying the Jaguars won't win the division, but it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people anticipated because Texans already have one. I don't think they played each other twice, have they? So they got the next one up over in Houston. And so who knows, man? That's going to be a yesterday, baby Thor took one definitely on that. 49ers looked like the team that people were anointing like the best team in football a couple of weeks ago. And then they took like 3 L's on the chin in a row, but they bounced back yesterday and just put it to the Jaguars. It's like there was a whole different level of competition. They just Jaguars were never in that game, and it wasn't even close. What actions for beating 3 playoff teams to start the season last year? We're fraud. No, I know. That's what I say. I love how people like anoint people frauds. I would never call the Dolphins frauds or any team frauds because it's all going to play out in the field at the end. And but on the flip side, I'm never going to anoint like, oh, we're going to go and win just because we start off well. I've learned from the Dolphins, don't start counting championships early in the season. But I also don't give up on them early in the season. I always have that hope some point they would get their stride going. And it can happen. And you can't count out other teams because they started, bad. I mean, the 49ers lost 3 games in a row. And people were saying, oh, they were frauds. And here now they went and smacked the, Jaguars yesterday into submission. And now they're already saying, oh, the 49ers are back. And, they just had a little roadside setback, whatever you want to say. And now they're back to being one of the best. And they probably are. The 49ers are a really good team. And, we will see how the NFC plays out. But all I care about is our AFC for right now. And in particularly the AFC East, because I really need that AFC East title. If you haven't got that drift by now and watching me, it's I don't know how much more to say how important winning the AFC. Hey, Eric, good morning. But like I was saying, I don't know how much more I can say. Win the AFC East. Buffalo is not the team that they were the past couple of years. There's definitely, are the Bills going to probably start playing a little bit better? Yeah, but they're definitely not the team at this point that they've been the past few years. So this is your chance to punch them in the mouth. And though we took the L up there, we all know we lost up there by a lot. But they're just not. They just don't have that. They were very close to losing to the Giants, who are an awful team. And I wish the Giants would have won that game. We are really being pretty shape as far as the division is concerned. But that's all gone. That didn't happen. If the Bills win tonight, I mean, they're right there on our butt because then we can't really lose any games because then let's face it, they have the tiebreaker against us. If the Broncos win tonight, Kohler, I'm going to be singing your. I'm going to tell, man, Kohler knows everything. I think you're just more hopeful, but hey, you never know. The Broncos are playing a little bit better than they were when they played against us. That's for sure. They beat the Chiefs, who we lost to. That's why all this stuff is just crazy. It's just insane sometimes. It's like the narratives we want to make because, like, we can't beat anyone, but we can beat the Broncos. Score 70 berg on them. I mean, and then they beat Chiefs, but then we lose to the Chiefs. It's just can't make that stuff up sometimes. And I don't really think the Chiefs are as powerful as they were, but they're still the team to beat in the AFC. All right, I would like that you could make a logical case. I like that. So maybe I was thinking, man, what an awful game to end the week. I was like, man, that's an awful Monday night matchup. I was like, ugh, why are they sticking us with Broncos at Bills? At least if it was in Denver, I would have a little bit more hope. He was the first pick in the you're right towards Tua. It is unfair. Kohler, he was the first pick in the NFL draft. Saying it, you're right, bias towards Tua is unfair. Achan is being activated and will practice. Hey, that's good, man. I would like that, sir. Thank you, H. Where do you get that, Newfoundland? That's why I said I love it when you guys drop the info on us, the 411. So that is great to hear. Hey, because he is a weapon. I can't believe he became such a weapon so quick. So that is really super. He is, like I said, to me, that kid, he is so much fun for one. And the fact that he's a Dolphin, but so take fun and Dolphin out of it, but he is a big contributor. I mean, he is going to add an element that we've missed the last few weeks. He's just another one of those guys that you can add with Waddle and Tyreek. Anytime he touches and Mozart, anytime he touches the ball, he has the potential to be gone. And that's just when you have that extra element. A little bit worried about Waddle being banged up some this year, but that guy, he's tough. He always comes back in, so that's a good thing. But when you got all those guys that any time they can touch the ball, you just know we can get back in there to our groove sooner than later as long as the offensive line holds up. I think we can all pretty much rest assured our tight end position's never going to get the big numbers, but that's okay. You know, they're blocking well. They will do things that they have to do. And we got threats at the running back position and receiver position. Maybe eventually a tight end will come into the fold that can really make a big offensive contribution. But with how McDaniel runs this offense, I don't know if that's ever going to be a thing with how he has it set up. Let's see exactly the criticism deserve, but the bias. Yes, that's what I always say. As long as you're not biased in your takes and it's just fair criticism, and that goes for any guys we like, guys we don't like. That's how it's supposed to be. But sometimes people just don't like a guy for whatever reason, and they will just rip him to the nth degree because they simply don't like the young man or the team he plays on and whatever. So, because there's people that would rip whoever, it's like Justin Herbert. People would trash him in a minute from Dolphin fandom. That we love to trust, but that kid can do some crazy stuff too, or the Chargers went in to give him the big bag of money. So let's just see over the next few years how all these young quarterbacks play out over the course of their career before we judge them over a couple of seasons. Because I mean, if you would have judged Herbert after his rookie year, everyone would have said, "Oh my God, the Dolphins made a horrible, awful choice," and now it's not so clear cut favorite. No, there's no clear cut. Oh my God, the Dolphins made an awful choice. You could say maybe we made the better choice, but a few, after that rookie year, it looked like everyone was anointing Herbert as the greatest quarterback in the league, and he is very good. He's just maybe not always comes through at the end. But yesterday, he would have come through at the end probably, but the Lions were smart. Lions are, people say Mike McDaniel's crazy and gutsy and has big, big balls, big footballs on his team. So, but hey, Dan Campbell up to him yesterday, man. He went for it on fourth down because he knew that if they gave the Chargers that much time left, that the Chargers probably would have gone and drive the ball because they could have kicked a field goal where they were, but they went for it on fourth down. If he doesn't, he's getting second guessed 10,000 times until next week. But they got the first down, were able to milk the clock, kick the game-winning field goal against the Chargers, and say la vie. Herbert never got a chance to get the ball back. But that was a barn burner of a game anyway, so I'm not going to say Herbert's not good. And Dolphin, to me, Tua can be good and Herbert can be good. Joe Burrow can be good. All these guys that went in that draft, Jalen Hurts, they can all be good. Just because one good doesn't mean the other one sucks. So I think sometimes that's what people love to do from fandom. Let's see. I got the Dolphins going. Oh my God, G-Man. Come on, G-Man. Not that bad. Let's see. I got the Dolphins going 9-8, losing once to the Jets, Dallas, Baltimore, Buffalo. They will lose to someone unexpected also. Maybe it's Tennessee or Oakland. The Dolphins are frauds. G-Man, I don't think the Dolphins are frauds. Have they beat a winning team? No, but I don't think they're total frauds, G-Man. And I know, G-Man, you speak from the heart. You're a fan from my generation, and you know it's been way too long since the Dolphins have done something. So I understand your pain, but a big hello to you, G-Man. But I don't think they're necessarily frauds. And if we win against the Raiders, they're already got to 7 wins. And if they win all their home, I know you have us losing to Dallas and you have us losing to Buffalo again. I understand. But hey, I hope you're wrong, G Man. Just as much as I hope Kohler is right about tonight, I hope you're wrong about 9-8. If we go 9-8, that would be a dismal end to the season. That would be a dismal end to the season. Let's see. I'm trying to get caught up on all your guys coming out. Those are definitely on the fence guy. I always thought Tyndall needed a full 2 years of development, so maybe he gets a third. Yeah, I know. I don't know who else he said's on the fence. I have to go back and look and see what Daniel said. A whole bunch of comments came in at one time. Let's see. Where did Daniel say? Sorry, talking to myself, looking for what Daniel said. Let's see. Oh, Raphael. No wonder I'm looking for the wrong name. Raphael. Okay. What did Raphael say? Oh, Tyndall and yes, good. So Tyndall and Good will these two make next year another Miami? Hey, we will see. They like Good, obviously. They've cut him before and then bring him back. So they see something in them, but it's not like other teams are grabbing them and taking them and running when we've exposed them. There you go. If we are a 9-8 team, I'll start the class action lawsuit against ESPN's mathematicians for. I agree. I just see us because say if we beat the Raiders, that gets us to 7 wins, and then you beat the Titans, that's 8 wins, and then beat the Jets at home, that's 9. I'm trying to think of where he's coming up. I don't know. I don't know. It's like you said, Kohler. If we finish 9-8, it's I think people heads roll for sure. Then if this team finishes 9-8, I can't see Greer about it. Uh, if you only beat the Raiders, Jets at home, you still going against the Bills. Right? If we only beat the Raiders, Jets at home, and Titans, we will still be going against the Bills for a playoff spot. So there you go, Joe. That's what I'm saying. Bookies are NFL script writers. That's funny. I'm not a college basketball fan, G man. I don't know if anyone else is. I am not. I might watch the occasional Final Four, when it gets to March Madness, but not really a college basketball guy. The Dolphins can lose to anyone because of their sloppy play. Coach Scatterbrain is not the answer. G man, like I said, I hope you're wrong. That's all I would say, G man, because you're a great friend of the channel. But I hope you're wrong. And I like our coach, and I think he's doing a good job. Bottom line business, though, if they don't win a playoff game in the next year or two, I give them till next year. Then yes, you're right. It's going to be the whole blow it up again and go over. But I'm hoping you're wrong, G man. I know we got fans on. I'm more moderate right down the middle. I'm not printing out my playoff tickets yet, but I'm also not saying we're 9-8 yet. I'm going to say let's go week by week. Let's see this week. Our job this week for the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins' job this week is to beat the Raiders. It's a conference win if they win. That helps right there. I think they can go into the Jets. Last week I was a little more skeptical, but I do believe I have a little more hope after watching the Jets. Do the Jets defense, are they elite and super duper? Yes, the Jets have, but their offense is not so great. So if our defense stays healthy against the Raiders and we don't have any significant injuries, I don't see the Jets being able to put up that many points against the Dolphins either. And I think our offense can score just enough points to knock off the Jets. So that would be a win. at the beginning of the season, I didn't have us getting that we may be able to steal up there in the Meadowlands, MetLife, whatever they call it this day and age. Anything you want to bet, the fade away. Every hey, this year they could give us the December to remember in the positive way to steal Lexus. Probably they probably trademarked that phrase. I better be careful. But we will be remember the 12th month of the season this year because I see us getting more wins. And if not, if we fall, it's just going to be more blame to go around. Do you blame Greer? Do you blame Tua? Do you blame McDaniel? Who do you blame? But I don't see that happening. I see the Dolphins stepping up this year. This team is starting to, you see it. Yes, we lost to Kansas City. Yes, we lost to the Eagles and we lost to Buffalo. So the three teams we could have really proved we were up there. But just because you beat one of those teams doesn't mean you're really necessarily there either. Does it help with your resume because you get a win? Of course. But just because you knock off one of those teams, I mean, the Broncos knocked off Kansas City. Are we going to say the Broncos are real and they're great and they just had a few bad games where they gave up 70 points one week and whatever? No. It's just sometimes stuff happens. So, it is what it is. But we are a solid team. Good teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. And that's where, so far, that's what we've done. So we can keep on beating the teams they're supposed to beat. Get a couple against the tougher teams that maybe we're not going to be favored. You're looking at a really good record. So I hope you're wrong, G-Man. Hey, Back It Up Ben's podcast. Make sure you guys check him out. He's been doing a little more stuff lately. He's a really cool guy. Back It Up Ben's podcast. Really good stuff over there. Cool stuff going on. Yeah, I'm not saying maybe 12-5. I don't know if Kohler said 12-5. Man, I give him I'm like 11-6, so I can't say 12-5 is not in the realm of possibility because I've been saying 11-6 from the beginning of the season. I'm sticking with that. I will alter that if the next couple of weeks. Obviously, if you beat the Raiders, which I already had, but at the beginning, I kind of was thinking lose one to the Jets and split. But if we can go up there and win on Black Friday, then I may up to where I am thinking Kohler. Maybe we can get to 12-5. But right now, I'm right at 11-6. And hey, if not, it is. I'm not going to worry about it. Enjoy what we're seeing as it goes. If they blow it, then I would be the first one to G-Man to say, hey, G-Man, you were right. I was wrong. And it stinks once again at the end of the season to be a Dolphin fan. Wow, Kohler, I didn't know you were that high, man. We only got one. Well, at the beginning. Okay. So now you're saying maybe one more. Hey, but that would be great, Kohler. Some kind of record like that. In the beginning, I thought that's what it would take to win the AFC East. It may not be needed now to win the AFC East. Yeah, that's right where I'm sticking, Bobby, right with 11-6 for now. But like I said, if we beat the Raiders and we go into the Meadowlands, I know I don't even know if they call it the Meadowlands anymore, but for me, for the love of God, I just keep on saying the Meadowlands. If they go into East Rutherford, New Jersey, the MetLife, whatever you want to call it, they should be the New Jersey Jets. But hey, who am I to complain? That's New Jersey wants them to play in their state and not take any love for the name of their state. That's on them. But all I know is I'm right there at 11-6. But if the Dolphins do go in there and beat the Jets, I may up it a little bit because that was one of the games I'm thinking, oh, if you split with the Jets, you're okay. I'm thinking 11 hooked up Joe also. Hold on, Anthony. I will drop a link right here at the end of the show. We only got a few more minutes, but I would drop a link. Joe, I agree with you. I'm thinking 11 wins, so obviously I agree with you that we should win the East. Granted, we beat the Jets and Bills at home. Yes, I agree. I don't know why everyone's just assuming we're going to. Yes, the Bills spanked us up there, but it was just a bad game for us. Do I really think the Bills are that much better than us? No, and I do believe we can beat them here. Oh, if we put up 34 against the Jets, holy moly, my friend, that'd be insane in the membrane, man. That'd be crazy. That I don't see that happening. But yeah, if the biggest little word, as they say, hey guys, I'm dropping the link, but only for a minute because I just looked at the time. I'm normally ending my show by now, but it's good to see all you guys in here. I love it. Good audience today. I hope all of you have gone and nailed that thumbs up button for me because you guys rock. Dolphins are the best, as my screen says down there. I mean, it was covered by Kohler's 34 because when I saw them at 34, that was just really good, really good news. Hey, thank you. Back it up, Ben. All you guys are awesome coming in here today. Buffalo don't even own themselves, right? We're gonna see tonight how they perform. I don't think Buffalo put 70 on them like the Dolphins did, but I just can't see the Broncos going in to Buffalo on a Monday night in front of the Mafia and winning that game. But man, I would love it if that happens. That would make a very happy Tuesday morning to wake up to, knowing that Buffalo lost to the Broncos. That would be super. Big Trouble in Little China. Oh, Little China, I'm assuming you mean. But yeah, man, I don't know where that came up, but yeah, that's a movie from the past. But hey, it's good stuff. Yeah, I know what you meant there, Mr. Courtwright. Well, guys, I am going to get out of here. Hey, yes, smash that like button. And if you're new, like Dad Dean says, go tackle that subscribe button. Do a Doug Better sack on the subscribe button there. That's a name from the past that a lot of guys probably don't even know. But go tackle that subscribe button and it will be great. You guys rock, man. I'm out of here. Guys, finish up. Hey, end of the day, the Dolphins are still in first place in the AFC East. I know, I understand where J Man's coming from. I understand because I've seen this rodeo too, where the Dolphins break our heart and fall apart in December. I know, believe me, I know G Man, but I just feel like this year is going to be different. And I probably say that every year. Who knows? But I just feel like this year is going to be different. And if not, I'd be here with you, G Man, saying, you got to get rid of people. I do agree. Thank you, Moya. All of you guys. You guys, Risky G Man says, you guys are watching everything through aqua and orange colored glasses. I'm telling you, this team is a huge flaw. That's your right. I never tell anyone how to fan G Man. I appreciate your take, and I understand 100% where you are coming from because this team has broken our heart in the past. But I'm leaving the past in the past and basing it off this year. Just seems to me a little bit different. Have they lost to the three good teams? Yes, they have. I give you that 100%. But if this team wins 11 games, they're not frauds. Now, if they lose in the playoffs, I'm going to be disappointed. I do not want this team to be one and done at all. I may remind you the Miami Dolphins are now in 16 in their last games. There you go. See, no matter how you slice it, I agree with this, though. Bad frauds do not go six. I don't care who they're playing. You don't go 16-2 in your last 18 home games if you're just total frauds. Do the Dolphins have a history of breaking our hearts, G-Man? Most certainly they do. Just by evidence by their lack of playoff wins. December 30th, 2000 is the last time they won a playoff game. So I understand where G-Man's coming from. I really do. I really understand where G-Man, but I just feel I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop as a Miami Dolphin fan. I'm not going to tease, so I understand your G-Man. I'm always waiting. Oh, here we go. Here comes the swoon, and we're just going to be, going down tubes. But I just feel like this team is set to win this year. I like the coaching staff. I like the defensive coaching staff. I like the offensive coaching staff. Special teams, yeah. But hey, we're going to need Sanders to kick some. Yesterday was crazy. I didn't even touch on that. I've never seen so many games end on walk-off field goals. It's like it was crazy yesterday. Almost every game in the red zone, and then like in a walk-off field goal to end the game. Yes, I don't have faith either, but I'm convinced we're better than 9-8. You're right, Kohler. If we finish 9-8, like G-Man says, I'd be the first one saying fire Greer, fire whoever, because I'd be mad as heck. And I'd be really not in a good mood if we go 9-8. There's no excuse for this team to go 9-8. They're spent up to the cap like heck. They've drafted with a lot of draft picks, traded away some of those draft picks that we had acquired to acquire like Tyreek Hill and Chubb. We gave big money to them. Said there is no reason on this earth that we should finish 9-8. Ross would have the right to go insane if we finish 9-8. It would be an utter disappointment. But they're the ones we will see. I agree. The stats back you up, G-Man, that we have beat bad teams. Yes. But if we finish 11-6, like I predicted at the beginning of the season, and we win a playoff game, to me, it's a success because you win one playoff game means you can win the next and the next if you have to win 3 playoff games. So let's see. Guys, big fins up to you as always. I appreciate you guys coming in. And remember, if you ever want to buy something on Fanatics, on their safe and secured site, and you're going to buy some Dolphin gear, or G-Man, I know your Miami Heat are playing well, go buy some Miami Heat gear. You can get it on Fanatics. Go through my link, either on my website or down there. You pay the same. You get all their discount codes. And our site gets a little bit of a small thread of the profit. And it helps the site. And it all just goes to the site for all the streaming devices and all that stuff. So any of that. And if you're a big fan of Blackout Coffee, use discount code THIRSTY at blackoutcoffee.com or hit through my link here and you will be hooked up. Guys, it's always a pleasure to talk Miami Dolphins football. Tomorrow night, I'll be on Real Talk Fins Talk, 7:30 p.m. on Real Talk Fins Talk on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I always somehow bundle that. Too many talks in there. But you get the point. Fins Talk Sports Network, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night. I'll be co-host with Steve Malloy on Real Talk Fins Talk. I'll be back here Wednesday morning. I don't like doing the double shows because then by Tuesday night, I'll be out of stuff to talk about. So I will do the show tomorrow night, then back on my channel Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So fins up to all of you guys. You guys are the best fan base in the world. Don't let other people tell you. And G-Man, you are included in that fan base. I understand you feel burnt, so I understand why you feel the way you do. I get it. And that's a good thing. They beat the teams that they're supposed to do. There you go. New drinking game. Take a shot every time someone comments frauds. Oh, my God. Oh, no way, please. I'm not a drinker. Scotty, I'd be gone with the wind if that happens, boy. Hungry Howie soon. See ya. Hey, yes, it is basically lunchtime. Big fins up to all of you, man. I keep on seeing great comments. I can't leave, but I got to go. I'm going to go out of here. Let me find my closeout video. I'm going to be gone with the win here. Guys, fins up. You guys brought. Steve, you were in here earlier, so in your honor. Dolphins #1, baby. Dolphins
thirsty. They never show no mercy. On the field or in the game. Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty. We all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know. It's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won, for all things Miami.